Hey Susan, welcome to the GAC RMHC Golf Classic. Just want to give you an opportunity here to view your swing at regular speed. We'll let that play on through, put you back in your dress position, and we'll go ahead and take a look at a few things for you. So while we got you back here in your setup, your setup looks terrific. We can see here that your spine is nice and straight and on a tilt. Legs come down into a nicely unlocked position. Arms hang down nice and naturally in front of you. The golf club works out the ball, so achieving really nice posture here in association with a great balance. Looks beautiful. Let's go ahead and also take a look at your alignment from this vantage point. We can see your feet aiming in this direction here. We'll carry that out to the fairway, and theoretically your club face is supposed to run parallel to your feet. Parallel lines on camera would have an appearance to converge, and with that philosophy in mind, we can see you're right up, set up right down the center of the fairway, so that is beautiful as well. Let's go ahead and do a little split screen comparison here between you and Chella Choi. We'll go ahead and slide you over just a hair here. Now we've got some color-coded lines on the screen just to use as a visual reference as it pertains to swing plane. And we're going to see here with Chella Choi that when she initiates her takeaway, we're simply trying to draw the golf club back by creating good shoulder rotation, bringing the arms and hands back with the club right along the red line. So the club would be working back on plane and on a nice arc. And that's what we're going to see here with Chella as she's moving the golf club. Also, in the early stages of the golf swing, once we get the club right through to about here somewhere, we're going to want to start creating some good wrist hinge into play. And what that means is we're going to want to transition the club head from being below and in front of our hands to now having the club above and behind our hands. So what that does is it keeps the club shaft on plane, right on the red line. Okay? Very important move in the golf swing. Unfortunately, what we see with you is you draw the golf club back. Your hands work phenomenal here, right out of the gate. You're bringing your hands back, they're coming back on a nice arc, shaft of the club's perfectly on plane, the club's in good position, you're turning your shoulders. I mean, I really like where you are right now. Right about here, what you start to do is you start to keep the club head out in front of your hands a little too much. You stop rotating, and your arms start to avalanche up your core. So at this point in time, what we're going to see is club head stays in front. You're still okay right there. I'm still okay with that position. But at some point in time, we're going to have to get the club head to fall back over in this direction. So as we're creating that hinge, the club has to fall behind your hands. Unfortunately, this doesn't happen for you. So we create your hinge, club still in front of your hands. Creating more hinge, club shaft's too steep. That club head should have moved over to here by now to stay on plane. Okay? At this point in time, what starts to happen is you stop your rotation and your arms start to go too much up your core. So shaft is still too steep, arms are going up your core, and there's no longer any rotation. And what's going to happen is you're going to take your arms to a very steep position, which is going to have a huge impact on your downswing. Okay? So very simply put, from here, let's put you back in a really good position. From here, what I would like to see you do is don't be afraid to let your hands swing way more around you as you go to the top of your swing. Don't be afraid to let your club head fall in behind your hands as you go to the top of your swing. And definitely keep your left shoulder turning back towards the instep of your right foot. So don't stop your shoulder rotation. So what we can see here with Chella, so right here, what does she do? Right? She creates the hinge, but where does the club head go? It goes behind her hands, right? We want that club head to go behind her hands. Her hands are also working around her. They're not going up. And she's turning her shoulders. So as she does that, she now just sends that golf club still right along the red line and then works the club from red, eventually up to yellow. You get going up to the yellow-blue V zone way too early. And what we also see is she has full shoulder rotation. Okay? So from here, we need full shoulder rotation. Let the hands work around you. Let the club head drop in behind you. Keep those shoulders turning. And let shallow out your arm plane so your left arm can get on the yellow line. Okay, we don't want your left arm out in front of you like this. Okay, so we need to take that whole arm unit and we need to bring it way over here so that club shaft can, be somewhere set within that blue-yellow V zone. Soon as we shallow that out, what you need to understand is now there's a domino effect to the downswing. Your downswing is going to improve. Now, how much? Is it going to improve 10%? Is it going to improve 40? Is it going to improve 80? Maybe it's going to improve 100%. I don't think it's going to improve 100%, but if you can set your arms in a better position at the top of your backswing, I'm going to tell you right now, it's probably going to improve your downswing by at least 50%, maybe more. And then at that point in time, you can go ahead and focus on, achieving a better pre-impact position. Well, what do I mean by that? Well, when we're at the top of the swing and we go ahead and get ready to hit the ball, what do we want to do? Well, we want to move our weight from our right foot to our left. We want to fire our knees and our hips to the target laterally. We want to unwind the core, and we want to fire our hands. And in firing our hands, we want to make sure that we're bringing that golf club from yellow, or wherever we set it within that blue-yellow V zone. We got to bring the club back down onto red. This position right here is absolutely critical. It's really the most important aspect of the golf swing. I refer to it as being the backwards check mark, okay? Whereby right now her club head is remaining above and behind her hands, okay? And the club head's returned back to plane. It's very important to get this golf club to return back to plane because it is the single most important ingredient or criteria in order to produce straight golf shots. So because she's retaining angle, she's going to create a lot of power. Because she's retaining angle and the club's returned back to plane, she's also going to hit the ball straight, okay? So with you as you come into the ball, I mean, there's just no way you're going to reroute your arms back to the inside with the club and bring the club back to red. It's just not going to happen. So you start your downswing. Your hands are coming out in front of you down blue. So that's even more of an over-the-top move. As your hands move over the top there, obviously it has a huge influence on the club. So if we go ahead and pay attention where your club head is, your club head's there. And the reality is your club head should be working a lot closer back to the red line, okay? So therefore your club shaft is coming into the ball way too steep. It's sitting here at 70 degrees when her club shaft is coming into the ball at, let's just call it around 35 degrees, okay? So as we continue to come in, all we're going to watch is we're just going to watch your club head continue to fall out in front of your hands. So there's one frame, next frame. So we can see how steep this angle of attack is, right? And therefore that over the top move and that steepness is causing the club to attack the ball from what's referred to as outside to inside. So here's the visual look of just how steep the club was coming into the ball. We know that this steepness is causing an over the top move and therefore for you to attack the ball out to in. Whereas what we see with Chela Choi is her golf club returned back to plane here. And very simply put, it tracks in the golf ball directly from the red line, or actually in her case, a hair underneath, okay? So this now is what's going to produce a fairly straight golf shot or a nice soft draw, right? She's aimed well, club's fallen on plane, now all she's got to do is square the face up. So at this point in time, we can take a look at the pass of the club. And we can clearly see that Chela's club's inside the ball. Yours is outside. So her club expands out to make contact and moves through on a nice natural subtle arc. Your club is outside the ball, it's dropping down and across. Okay? So there it goes. Hitting the ball, coming across, and keeps going across. So very simply put, if we were to square the club face up to the path, one thing's going to happen. You're going to hit the ball way more solid. Because when the club face is square to the path, that's when we hit the ball solid. Problem is, if you square the club face to this path, you're going to pull a golf shot way left. And if you actually over-release the club, not only would it go way left, but now you're going to hit some form of a pull draw or pull hook. It's even going to go further left. But the thing is, if you square the face to the path, you hit it more solid, ball goes further. But in your case, because you're swinging that club way left, the ball's going to go way left. So your subconscious brain says, uh-oh, I better leave the face open. So what happens now? Well, hopefully with that red path, you can start the ball a little bit more to the right. Because the face was open, you'll have a little bit of left-right spin. And you'll produce sort of this fade or slicing action, the ball will stay on line and will find its intended target. Another problem that lies here is if you leave the face too open. Now, incredibly, we're swinging the club along the red path way to the left. If we leave the face wide open, incredibly, the ball will start to the right. Well, therefore, that means that we've imparted a ton of left-right spin, and we're going to hit a massive block slice. So the end result of your golf shot is dictated based on the timing of the club face. Because the club is attacking from outside, striking the ball, moving to the inside, if we square the face, we'll hit the ball its furthest, but it's going way left. If we leave the club face wide open, we're going to block it down blue. It's going to continue to blue. And unfortunately, that's a glancing blow, and you're going to lose a ton of distance because the face is wide open. Club's moving across to red, face is wide open. There's just not going to be any power. If we time it properly, keep the club face just a little bit open, start the ball left, don't fully square the face, follows yellow, everything lines up. And that's when you find you hit your best golf shots, right? It follows that yellow pattern. You may find if you hit any balls to the left, that's when it goes the farthest. But obviously you never want to hit it there because it's never finding the center of the fairway. And then when you leave it too open, then it's following blue and it's really weak and it doesn't go far, and then you're also missing the golf course on the right side. Okay? At impact here, I can see your right heel or foot's flat on the ground. Notice with Chella Choi, her heel's off the ground. Watch the continued activity of that foot as she moves through to the finish. So she's coming through. The right heel is going to continue to come off the ground. She's going to get up onto the toes of her right foot. That's going to displace all her weight on her left side. That'll allow her hips to square around and her shoulders to fully rotate. So that allows us to get to a good finish, all by creating proper footwork with our right foot. Let's see what you do, if anything, with your right foot coming through. So nothing. Okay? Well, until the very last second there. So that's great. Just let that happen earlier. Okay? So at least you move your heel off the ground so you can get to a finish. But you need to let that happen a lot earlier as we're hitting the golf ball. Okay? I do want to just quickly look at where your club face was here at impact, get a sense of exactly what happened to the golf ball. So here we are coming through the ball. Face definitely stayed open. Ball is definitely being blocked to the right of where you're swinging, and that ball is going to continue to go right. So you're going to lose distance. The ball is definitely going too far right. How far right will be indicative based on how open that club face was. Okay? Overall, super athletic ability. I mean, I love how your hands work. They come back, they fire through. Your core works pretty decent. You do need more turn. So you do coil, you do uncoil. So we need more rotation. You got decent enough footwork that allows you to get through to the finish. It is late, so try and get that happening earlier. But the biggest thing for you is when you make your backswing, don't be afraid to let your hands and your club immediately move more inside and around your body. You got to learn how to lay the club head off in behind your hands earlier. So right through here, that club head has to learn how to get over here better. Okay? So the shaft isn't so steep and we don't work ourselves into such a steep position. So when we finally get to the top of the backswing, definitely have to have our arms in a shallower position. Again, soon as you do that, you're going to hit the ball so much better. Okay? You're going to hit it further. You're going to hit it straighter. I mean, you're still probably going to come at it a little bit from outside, but at least not to the extent that we're seeing right now. And then again, at that point, we can go ahead and refine some stuff from there. Okay? Anyways, if at any point in time you ever want to work on any of these aspects of your golf game, I'm located over at Glen Abbey in Oakville. Be happy to structure a program for you. Also, if you're involved with any golf tournaments at all, you guys are looking for a unique gift to provide your guests, feel free to touch base and I'll be happy to discuss my swing analysis services. Anyways, I hope you had a fabulous day and I hope you enjoyed getting an opportunity to see your swing on video. Take care.